Hello and welcome to We Poets. My name is Sally Baker and I'm the host of We Poets. We Poets is a poetry show for boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 13 years old. So if you would like to be a poet, please have your teacher or your parents call me at the office number, or they can email me, and you too can come and be on the program. Today we have two young ladies who are from the same school, and they're going to read poems that they have written and tell you all about themselves. So here we go with our first poet. Hello, young lady.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good, and how are you?
Great, thank you. Could you look there at camera 3 and tell us your name and how old you are and where you go to school, please?
I am 10 years old. I am in 4th grade, and I go to Malcolm X.
Great. What are your favorite subjects in school?
I think math would be one of my favorite subjects because there's always a right answer, so you have to keep progressing to the answer.
Great. And when you graduate from high school and college, what career would you like to pursue?
I think I would either want to be a mathematician or a singer.
A singer? What kind of songs do you like to sing?
I think either like R&B songs or pop songs, maybe.
Good, good. And do you play a musical instrument?
I actually play the flute.
How long have you been playing the flute?
A few months.
Good,
About
good.
9 months.
Good. How often do you have to practice?
I practice 3 times a week.
3 times a week. And you practice at school or at home?
Both.
Both places?
So 2 times at school, 1 time at home.
Great, great. And do you play like a class there at school? Other students are playing, or just you private lessons?
It's all of us are divided up into equal classes. So there's a flute class, which I'm in, so with more kids.
Great, great. Now, you like to write poetry, right?
Yes.
And tell me about this oratorical fest that you participated in.
So the Oratorical Fest was for Black History Month, and the theme this year was joy, what brings joy to you. And me and my 2 other friends did a poem called Dear Black Girl together.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Did you win first place?
We won 3rd place.
3rd. That's good.
Yeah.
And so you participated at school to do this?
Yeah.
And then did you go out to other places and give the same readings?
We, one of our friends did that, but since we were in 3rd place, we didn't get to because it was only 1st and 2nd place.
I see. Wow. Well, I'm very proud of you. Good.
Thank you.
And you've written a poem for me today, right?
Yes.
What's the name of your poem, please?
My poem is called Dominican. It's an acrostic poem about Dominica, where my dad's side of the family lives.
Wonderful. Be our guest, please.
Right. Dominican. Dazzling sun shines on Diamond Beach. Magical people run on beautiful island sand. Nice breeze flows through the infinite air. I love the delicious food drifting through the island winds. Caring people love for each other. Active animals run through gigantic jungle. Nature springs all around the wild island.
Great, great. What other things do you like to write about? What other subjects?
I really like to write about family a lot. So I think one thing that's really important is having people supporting around you, and I think one of those a lot of supporting people for me are my family, like my mom, my dad, and my brother.
Mm-hmm. You have one brother?
Yes, he's 13 years old.
Good. What are some fun things that the 2 of you do together?
Let's see. We go to the pool together a lot, like in the
swim?
Yeah, in the summertime we play a lot of fun games in the pool. And then we like to play board games together.
Good.
Yeah. And then sometimes we'll like go to a park or something and like play with the soccer ball, like pass it around.
Great, great. And what do you think you're going to do this summer?
This summer I'm actually going to a few camps. One is a flute camp, and we're going to be it's at King Middle School in Berkeley. And then I'm going to a skateboarding camp up in the mountains. They built a skateboarding rink in the forest. So I'm going to be going with my friend Genesis. And let's see. I think I might be going to a surfing camp in Half Moon Bay.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So you're going to be busy this summer.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, have you taken any trips outside of the United States?
Yes. I went to New Mexico. I've gone to Mexico. Let's see. I've gone to Canada.
Oh.
Well, I'm going this summer again, but I went once when I was about 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also gone to Costa Rica last summer. It was like a really big family trip with my dad's side of the family. It was pretty fun.
Wonderful. What did you like best about being there in that country?
I think the rainforests were really cool.
Oh, tell me about the rainforest.
The rainforests were so beautiful. There was lots of animals calling out. And we also got to go on this really cool hike. And once we got to the top of the hike, we went ziplining back down. It was really fun.
Wow, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Did you have to take shots before you went to a foreign country?
Actually, we didn't, but we probably should have because I got sick.
Oh,
so.
But you got well quickly, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was only like 24 hours.
Oh, good, good. Now, is there anything else you'd like to tell me before we hear from our next poet?
I don't think so, yeah.
This is your first time on TV?
This is my second time.
Tell me about the first time.
The first time I was with my friend Genesis, and they were posting on, I think, this broadcasting network. It was like a skateboarding commercial or something.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Well, you look so beautiful today, and I know everybody's so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and I know your friends and your teacher and your parents are very proud of you. And thank you again for coming and being on We Poets.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to We Poets. I'm Sally Baker, the host, and now I would like to interview our second poet. Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Could you look there at camera 3 and tell us your name and how old you are and where you go to school, please?
My name is Heather Hasty. I'm 9 years old and I'm turning 10 in 7 days. And I go to Malcolm X Elementary.
Great. So you're going to have a birthday, huh?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to celebrate your birthday?
I'm gonna have some friends over at my house the day after my birthday, and we're gonna be there for like a couple hours, and then we're gonna go to the ice skating rink.
Wow, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Where's the ice skating rink? What town?
I think it's in Oakland.
Ooh, that's fun. You like to ice skate?
Yeah, I did it for my 7th birthday party too, I think.
Great, great. I've never ice skated. I used to roller skate. Have you gone roller skating?
Yeah, I have rollerblades.
Aha, great.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I know you like to write poetry, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have you written for me today, please?
It's called My House.
Okay, be our guest, please.
My House by Heather Hasty. My warm, soft rug in the middle of our bright orange room, filled with memories biting at me like an angry tiger. Summer in grass lays a cold, magical pool. Dogs jump in the precious light. I watch, trying not to let the tiger bite me. It does. I cry. My salty tears streak my face as dreaded words hit me. We're moving. All the memories come at me like a tidal wave. My first birthday, the first time I went to a water park. I bury my face in my hands. I get pushed and pulled by the devil and the angel. The devil laughs at me. The angel tries to comfort me. The devil wins. It seems like the world won too.
Wonderful, wonderful. What else do you like to write about when you write your poems?
I like to write about like myself, and like I sometimes do like acrostic poems about like where my parents are from.
Where are your parents from?
My mom's from Minnesota and my dad's from England.
Wonderful. And have you traveled to England?
Yeah, many times.
Tell me about some of the trips you took to England.
We went there for Christmas once, or maybe more than once. And my aunt, my uncle, and my cousin, they live, I don't totally remember where they live.
That's okay.
But it's somewhere near London, I think. And my grandparents live farther away from London. That's the only part that I can remember.
London's an interesting city, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was there for a few months. I worked in London. The only thing I didn't like about it rained a lot. Was it raining when you were there most of the time?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, and very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to wear warm clothes, right? Right. What was the food that you enjoyed the best eating there in London?
I'm not sure. I can't really remember.
That's all right.
It was like a couple years ago.
Have you traveled any other countries?
I went to Japan 2 weeks ago for spring break.
Wonderful. Tell me about Japan.
So I went to Tokyo for half of the trip and Kyoto for half of the trip. Personally, I think that Kyoto had the better shops, but Tokyo was like busier. And we stayed in a bunch of hotels, but for Kyoto we stayed in a house. It had like beds that were just like mattresses on the ground.
Ooh.
It was really cool.
Oh dear. Our director and his wife went to Japan recently, and I interviewed him. So maybe afterwards you can talk to him and tell him about some of the things that they did while they were there.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when you graduate from high school and college, what career do you think you'd like to pursue?
Maybe an actor. I like acting.
What kind of roles do you like to play on the stage?
I'm not sure, but I think I would prefer like being like on a screen. Like I think I like TV more than Broadway. But I would do both.
Do you think you'd rather go out of state to go to college, or stay here in California and go to college?
California would be cool, but like France also seems awesome.
Yes, we went to Paris, and Paris is wonderful, beautiful place to go.
Yeah, I've never been to Paris.
Well, maybe you'll go one day.
I really want to.
Yes. Now, is there anything else you'd like to tell me about you? Wasn't there some kind of contest that your school had and you won an award or a prize?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was the oratorical contest. We were reading poems that we memorized in front of the school. First, we did it in front of our class, and I think my whole class participated. My group got in, and so did a different group that I'm friends with. And so then we had to like practice even harder so that we could try and get into like, I think it's like all the schools.
Oh, good.
We didn't get there though, but we did get awards for the.
And what was your award?
It was like a certificate thingy.
Good.
It was cool.
Wonderful.
The poem that I memorized was The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman, but I didn't do it by myself. I did it with two of my other friends, Vesper and Lorelei.
Good, good. And did you participate there at school, or did you go out somewhere and recite these poems?
We just did it in our school.
Good. So lots of parents came and friends, right?
Yeah.
Any other things that you would like to tell me that take place at your school?
I play trumpet at my school.
Good.
I do play guitar, but not at school.
So you like music?
Yeah, I like music.
And this is your first time on TV?
Yeah.
Well, you did a wonderful job. Everybody's going to be so proud of you, and I'm so proud of you, and especially your teacher. Your teacher wasn't able to come today, right?
Yeah, I don't think she was.
Yeah, but she'll watch it. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming. You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Everybody's going to be so proud of you. And thank you again for coming. And your poem was excellent.
Thank you.
Welcome back to We Poets. I'm Sally Baker, the host. I hope you enjoyed listening to our two poets read their poems. And now I have an adult guest. I also interview adult guests on each program. And if you would like to be an adult guest, please call me. Now I would like to introduce you to my guest, and his name is Scott St Clair. He's a podcast producer, and he's going to tell us all about his experience. I met him here at Berkeley Community Media. Hello, Scott.
Hi there, Sally. Thank you for having me.
Yes, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Great. I'm so glad you could come and
Likewise.
Tell us all about podcasting.
Yeah, certainly. So to provide a little bit of context, I am a podcast producer as well as a host, and I'm a member of a podcast network that's called the Stranded Panda Podcast Network. And to give you a little bit of insight as to that name, we describe it as a safe haven for a rare breed of geek. So we are people all across the globe, all across the country that are passionate about our fandoms. So, everything from Star Wars to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC Comics. If there's an interest there, we have folks that are passionate about it and ready to talk about it. So we're really trying to foster a community for people that might not have those people in their lives, in their inner circle, that they can, really expound on these things about. But they have a community that they can find online and through podcasting.
Good. Now, is podcasting only for adults or for children and teenagers too, huh?
Oh, no, everyone can try their hand at podcasting.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think in terms of, getting your first steps into media production, I think podcasts are one of the best entry-level, get your foot in the door kind of projects you can pursue.
And can you tell us about the podcast classes that you teach here at Berkeley Community Media?
Yeah, certainly. So I've had the opportunity to lead a few different podcast classes. They typically last from about 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 hour sessions, and we go over everything from the ideation stage, thinking about who your audience is going to be, what your podcast is going to be about, to getting everything prepared. That's creating artwork, choosing what your distribution platform is going to be, where your podcast is going to be hosted, and how that will get out to the people. And then finally, we go through the actual process of recording audio, getting time on the microphone, as well as actually editing the audio and getting a full production and episode out there ready to go to the air.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Lots of time.
Yes.
And do you teach this class at night or during the day?
Typically, they've been in the evening time. Schedule-wise, that works for me and as well as the participants.
And can you tell the audience who they would contact if they wanted to take a podcast?
Yeah, certainly. You can always reach out to Berkeley Community Media, David Flores, the executive director, as well as Melanie. I know both of them are kind of the go-to contacts in terms of expressing interest in getting another one of those classes going. Because if the interest is there, I'm ready and willing.
You're ready and willing. Do you think more guys take the class than women?
Actually, at this point, it's been pretty even. If anything, I think I've had a few more ladies be interested in the class. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see here. What do you hope your listeners take away from each episode?
Yes, I would like for them to be, first and foremost, I'd like for them to be entertained. Because I'm not an expert, I'm just passionate. So if they can come away from the podcast enjoying what they listen to, I feel fulfilled. If they can get some level of education, that's great as well. Because again, I'm not an expert, but I am passionate. So I do research. I like to look up, the actors behind the scenes as well as behind the camera, talk about the writing processes of all these shows, as well as, just the performances. So if they can be entertained, educated, and then finally, I hope they do find that sense of community. So maybe they had all these ideas flying through their head, or they had a reaction to an episode or a movie, but they just haven't had the place to voice that. In addition to the podcast being a place for them to listen, we're constantly receiving feedback in the form of voicemails, emails, people finding us on social media and just interacting with us and keeping the conversation going.
Good. Have you traveled around the United States?
I have had the opportunity to travel a couple of different times with the podcast network. We met up in Nashville one time and got to do some group podcasting together, as well as just put some real faces to people we'd only been interacting with through the screen. And then we followed that up with another meetup in Las Vegas, where we got to kind of do the same thing.
Oh, so, I bet Las Vegas was fun.
It was.
Did you go to any of the casinos?
Yeah, we dabbled a little bit. I'm not much of a gambler, but we did. I'm more of a roller coaster enthusiast. So they have the Big Apple there on the strip. I did that a couple of times with a few of my friends. That was pretty fun.
Great. Anybody else in your family interested in podcasting?
In my family, interestingly enough, not so much.
Oh,
It's
really?
kind of my niche. I'm full of a family full of artistic people with multiple pursuits. My dad, he one of the things we share in common is that we're both visual artists as well.
Yes.
So I inherited my love of drawing from him,
Ah.
and it's been interesting to see him as he's matured and technology has advanced. I've been impressed with his ability to kind of stay right there with me. So he does a lot of video production and special effects and stuff like that, but not so much the podcasting. But we still certainly bounce ideas off of each other.
And what state did you grow up in?
I'm a bit of a rolling stone. So I
Oh.
was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but bounced around a lot. I was a military brat, so my dad was in the Army, and I actually joined the Navy right out of high school myself. So I have moved around quite a lot. But if I had to call any place home, I would call it Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where I spent most of my formative years.
I see. And when you were in the military, were you out of the country?
It's an interesting story. I was on an aircraft carrier, which was recently commissioned at the time. So it was not quite ready to go on a full deployment. They have to do what they call sea trials, which is like a 6 to 8 month period, just testing all the systems. So the time that I was stationed on this aircraft carrier, the George H.W. Bush, it was in that sea trials phase. So I got to go to the Bahamas, which is pretty exotic, but I didn't go anywhere, super international, unfortunately. But it was still a great experience.
Yeah. Do people get seasick when they're like in the Navy and on the ships all the time?
There are instances of that, but with an aircraft carrier especially, the vessel is so large that the amount of movement that you feel is really few and far between. Like it has to get pretty rocky for that to happen. And of course they do have Dramamine available for folks to do that. But I honestly was pretty shocked going through boot camp for the Navy, the number of folks that joined without knowing how to swim.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never learned how to swim. But
Oh, no? Okay.
No.
Okay.
You started when you were a young boy, huh?
I do. I have memories of being about 3 or 4 years old and just kind of get tossed in, and
Oh, great.
someone was there to make sure I didn't sink, but it was a good way to learn.
Great. Let's see now.
Absolutely.
What has been your biggest challenge you have faced while podcasting, and how did you overcome it?
Certainly. So I would say the biggest challenge I've overcome is when you're podcasting. I think the thing that makes the big difference between just to provide a little context, since 2014, it seems like podcasting has really blown up.
Yes.
It almost seems like everybody's got a podcast. You talk to people, it's like everybody's got a podcast. But I think what makes our network and our shows kind of stand out amongst the pack is that, again, we're not professionals, but we do have that just extra level of quality. So in terms of finding a good recording space, that's been the biggest challenge, between, finding a good quality microphone. Like I'll show this, for example. This is available here at Berkeley Community Media. It's the Blue Yeti X. It is a USB microphone, but it has 4 different pickup patterns. So it's a very versatile and very sensitive microphone. So it's going to have that richness and fidelity of your voice, but it's also going to pick up, echoes and background noise as well. So finding a decent recording place with good quality audio, that was the big challenge. So, when I first started podcasting, I lived in Monterey.
Okay.
And, I took some time to invest in my space and make sure I had a good recording space, but then I had to relocate. And I ended up moving here to Berkeley, and that was the big challenge. Where do I find a place that I can record? I tried recording in the first apartment that I was in, but with the hardwood floors, I was getting terrible echo.
Really?
Yeah, and that's why I'm incredibly grateful to Berkeley Community Media. Through networking, I was able to find out about this great location that has a full podcast studio, right here that you can record in. And so while it was the biggest challenge, the solution ended up being pretty easy and ended up being one of the best parts of my podcasting journey so far.
Now, are these expensive if one wanted to buy their own?
These are not terribly expensive in terms of good quality microphones. You can probably find this one on sale for about $150. When it's not on sale, it might be closer to about $180. But in terms of cost for microphone, it's not expensive at all. And depending on what you're interested in, maybe it could be a birthday gift, maybe it could be a Christmas gift, or if you have someone in your life,
About how many years did they last?
I've had mine for the better part of 5 years, and I haven't
5
seen.
years?
Yeah, I haven't seen. As long as you take care of it and you're not dropping it or anything like that, they're pretty sturdy. Like if you want to hold it for a second, you can feel the weight and the stability on that thing. Yeah.
And where do the batteries go? You open this up?
No battery. So this plugs directly into your computer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen one before.
Yeah, certainly.
Wow. Oh, let's see here. And what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about starting a podcast?
Yeah, that's a great question. I get asked that quite a lot, and I would say the best piece of advice I can give you is just get started. You can come up with every excuse as to why not to get started. Entry point, maybe you don't have the right equipment, maybe you're worried about your voice. You're not going to find out what you need to improve on unless you get started. So just get started with whatever you have. If you're recording on your laptop microphone or on your phone, just get started, see what the process is like, find your voice, and that'll be the best thing that'll get you started. You might not like the first couple of episodes you put out, but you'll learn and you'll grow. That's certainly my experience. And I would say the other big piece of advice I would give anyone once you get started is consistency. And we go over that in the class a lot too. Have a game plan, decide on the day that your episodes are going to go out, decide on the time, and just have that consistency. So if you're going to be a weekly podcast, a bi-weekly podcast, a monthly podcast, decide that and stick to it and have consistency, because when you're consistent like that, that will be reflected by your audience. They will show up for you time and time again.
And before we end our program here,
Absolutely.
I wanted you to look there at the camera and tell us where people can contact you if they would like to take a class here at Berkeley Community Media, please.
Yeah, you can contact me at my email. It's jscottstclair14@gmail.com. So that's JSCOTTSCOTTCLAIR14@gmail.com. Or again, you can reach out to the fine folks here at Berkeley Community Media, and they will let me know that you're interested, and we will get something on the calendar.
And again, you say the classes are in the evening rather than during the day?
Typically, they've been in the evening, but depending on who wants to take the class and their availability, I'm willing to be flexible, and if we need to adjust that schedule to fit, we can. But yeah, typically they have been in the evenings. Probably like Thursday through Friday, Wednesday through Friday. Yeah.
Good. And do you prefer like one-on-one, or would you like to have several in the class?
No, I think it's great to have, anywhere between 3 to 5. If there are a couple of people that want to do a podcast together, that's kind of what our recent class looked like. I think that's really great. Yeah.
Good. Well, I want to thank you so much.
Certainly,
this has been an interesting interview.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much.
Great. And I hope you get lots of calls.
Thank you.
And I know you got lots of projects in the work.
Absolutely. We always stay busy. So you can check out all of these podcasts I mentioned, strandedpanda.com, Animation Deliberation if you're a fan of animation, Multiverse News, we cover all of the entertainment news out there, and Bingers Assemble is one for all of the franchise movies that are coming out. So we actually just started one on the Planet of the Apes series that you can expect to hit your feed soon. And then there's one for television as well, PandaVision. So we're currently covering the Amazon Fallout show there. So lots of stuff happening.
Lots of things.
Yes,
lots
indeed.
of things. Well, thanks again.
Thank
have
you,
a great
Sally.
day.
You as well. Thank you so much.